How you going, guys and girls? Welcome to the channel. So as the title suggests, we're going to be going through a few different tyre sizes, starting off with the 275/60/15 on the standard rail with just the tub removed. That's sort of just more of a visual aid sort of thing because you can't really see anything when the tub's in. And then we're going to be going through with the same tyre with the lip off the rail removed, so simulating sort of just a mini tub job. And then we're also going to try the 295/50/15 with the same rail setup, so without the lip. Unrolled guards at that stage, just because I think there's a little bit of debate about whether or not that fits, so hopefully I'll be able to shine some light onto that. And yeah, then I'll do a little bit of a rail notch. I'll knock out 20mm to start off with, and then I'll fit the 295/50 again. And yeah, then I'll step it up just a little bit more with the 325/50s with a little bit more work. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, cheers. I also forgot to mention that I also fitted the 295/50/15 with the wheel arch lip rolled. So yeah, we'll be able to see if that works as well with the standard rail, and yeah. So there we have a 275/60/15. You can see that on the sidewall, so not bullshitting you. I think that's probably on the smaller side of a 275. Some of the more performance tyres will probably be a little bit bigger than that. I haven't done a section width on this because, like I said, it's not on a rim. So yeah, that really doesn't mean shit. But yeah, as you can see, there is a little bit of room, but it is like almost sitting on the wheel arch. So yeah, it's probably actually leaning inwards more than anything. So yeah, obviously it's a bit hard without a without something to actually hold the wheel straight, but yeah, I think you could probably get a 275 under with rolled guards. You might have to knock these ribs back in just a little bit, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much sitting on that just there. That'd be bloody tight. So I think if you just went mini tub, so yeah, mini tub to the rail with a standard tub, you'd easily fit a 275/60. If you wanted a little bit more room, you could roll the guards. But yeah, you can definitely see why I think even with just that spot taken out there, you definitely wouldn't get a 295/50 in here. I might drag one of them out just for curiosity's sake, and I'll just sit that up against the up against this wheel, or up against this tyre, I should say, just so you can sort of just see the height difference. Not the height difference, the width. Sorry. Most importantly, the section width, because it's not this part of it's not the tread width that'll cause you the issues, it's the section width, so from the widest point to the widest point. Yeah, and obviously 275 is going to have, or 275/60 is going to have a little bit more sidewall and a bit more bulge than a 295/50, but the 295/50 will have the wider tread width, so yeah. It's a little bit confusing at start, but yeah, hopefully I've explained some of that. Alright, so we've got the tyre sitting back in there. Again, that's the 275/60. This is how much I've removed. That's how much you gain by just going mini tub to the rail. I've measured that up. That's about 18mm from that point there to that point there. Now, that'll be then flush with the rail, as like I've shown in the other video. Now, when that's all said and done, once your tub is refitted, everything's stone guarded again, you know, you probably say you've gained 15mm. Alright, so you haven't gained a whole lot, but you've gained a little bit more, as you can see. I mean, obviously, that tyre's probably not straight, perfectly straight, so we'll straighten him up just a little bit. So, like I said, you've gained a bit. It's still a little bit tight. the tyre stays where I want it to stay, which of course it doesn't. But yeah, like I said, you've gained some room. I'd be pretty comfortable with something like that. Obviously, there's still a little bit more I've got to take off here, but like I said, this is just for sort of demonstration purposes. Bucket loads of room on the wheel arch side, so yeah, nothing really. That's plenty of room there. You probably actually move that wheel just out just a little bit because yeah, there's heaps of room. So yeah, I think 275/60 with just the with just that lip knocked off the rail. Obviously, you weld this joint up through here, so you make the floor a part of the rail again. I know you probably see that in the when the wheel was off before, but yeah, it's that, like I said, that the floor is separated from the actual rail is what I'm trying to get out. So yeah, you'd weld just this up, and then obviously linish that back flat, and then you'd start fitting your tub. So yeah, that's sort of what you do there. There's not sure if you'll be able to see it, but there's a bit of a hole in here that you got to fill in if you were just doing mini tub to the rail. But yeah, that's that one there. And here is the 295/50. This is just mini tub to the rail, or simulating it. As you can see, there is absolutely zero room on that side, and nothing here. So yeah, even with rolled guards, you really got no hope trying to fit them. With the standard rail, of course. So yeah, I mean there's a little bit, I mean the wheel's probably a little bit on an angle, but I mean obviously there's no way of making that one work without either rolling and pumping the guards heavily, which I think even then you'd still, yeah, that wouldn't work. I mean, maybe if you flared them out a whole lot and you actually brought the wheel outwards, but again, you'd probably only be having maybe 5-10 mil at the rail at the most, which is not enough. That's, yeah, if you really pumped these out, which would totally wreck the look of the car, but that's fine if you want to do that. Or you can have it up like a four-wheel drive or something, that's fine, if that's your thing. So yeah, for all the people who say that you can run 295s on a standard rail, that's mini tubs. Tell me how. If you want, that's fine. Anyway, this is just for argument's sake. So yeah, we can see that doesn't work. Alright, that's the 295/50/15 in the back with the standard rail and the rolled wheel arch lip. There is absolutely no room here. Like, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to get your fingers in there. And if you had a standard wheel tub still behind the quarter panel with just widening the inner section, you wouldn't be able to roll your guards that flat. So again, you're going to have less room. And in the back, I've just shoved a bit of that piece of wood that's in there, that's 20 mil thick. So they reckon you need about 20 mil clearance between the tyre and the rail. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I'm sure the wheel's probably leaning a little bit in and out, but you know, it gives you some idea. Ideally, you should be able to run the piece of wood lengthways through the wheel tub up against the rail, parallel. But yeah, even then still, this would, it's still way too tight, so yeah, hopefully that debunks a lot of people who say you can fit a 295/50 and still have full suspension travel with standard rails and just mini tub. I mean, hey, if you do, yeah, you must have very, very tight clearances. You know, we're talking like 5 mil either side, maybe. So yeah, not a whole lot at all. But yeah, that's that one there. I'm gonna whip that one out and
probably start looking at taking some out of the rail soon. So yeah, well, I've got all the rail marked out. It's a little bit hard because the tub that I'm going to be putting in has a flat side on it, so up against the rail or on top of the rail, whichever I decide to go with, it's going to be straight, and the factory rails are far from straight, because obviously if you look at that, this sort of has a bit of a kick in it, and HZs also have this little notch here. I don't know why they did that. For some reason, the other models are just flat all through that, and again, it's got that big sweep in it. So yeah, you've got your spring mount here. When you do your rail notch, you've got 20 mil there that you can sort of just cut straight across that, and that'll give you your starting point, and you sort of just work your way outwards from that. And yeah, it's a little bit of work and a little bit of measuring and stuff like that, just to keep everything, to keep it straight and not to follow the actual shape of the rail. So as you can see down there, I mean, it does, it sweeps a little bit. Yeah, I'll get you underneath the car and I'll show you. Alright, you can see why I made this trolley the height that it is, because I can perfectly sit on my bum and look underneath the car, which is bloody handy. But yeah, you can see that. That really shows it really well, just how not straight the rail is from factory. So yeah, to make that straight, it's a bit of work. And again with the rear, I don't know if it really picks up on camera, but yeah, it's a bit of work. And there's the 295/50 15 at a slammed ride height. And there's clearance all around the guard. I've actually just got some cardboard just holding that away from the guard lip. And there's back in through there, so yeah, there's room all through there. Like I said, I still got to take a little bit off that floor pan. Stacks of room in there now. Come in from underneath. Oh geez, it's making me think I should have bought these wheels now. Alright, so with 10 more mil out of the rail, I've got the 325/50 to fit. Probably wouldn't recommend doing this unless you're doing reinforcements to the back side of the rail as well, because it does get a bit thin in a few spots. Just nature of the beast, because the rail does come in a bit of a curve. Oh, there's my template for a bit of reinforcement. Mainly in this spot, because that's really where the kick of the rail is. So when you start getting in, that's it's pretty thin through there. So I mean, I've seen plenty of other people just leave them like that and they just fill them up with 3mm plate, but I think I'll end up putting something, as you can see, my textile, you might not be able to see it, but I've got textile lines right here. I'm going to put another bit of bracing through here, just to correct that that full thickness of the rail again. But I'll end up putting more in-depth videos of that later on as I continue on with the job. But yeah, there's my clearance just there. So yeah, plenty of room. Like I said, that's 20mm just there, so that should make everyone happy. And on this side, I've just got a bit of wood just shoved in between the guard and the tyre. And that's also just kind of just helped to keep the wheel straight and in where it needs to be. So yeah, I'm not sure if I actually get the car that low once it's all said and done, but I don't see why I can't, or at least not at full travel anyway. Yeah, like I said, that's with 30mm out the rail, and I'm going to put a lot of reinforcements back into the rail, because I think your rails are only, I think in the smallest spot, I think they're about 61mm or 62mm, so yeah, it's getting pretty thin in a few spots. Especially like where I said back here, because of the shape of the rail, because the rail's got that sort of that bit of an S-bend sort of in it. When you cut your rail, when you cut a bit out of it and that part's straight, obviously there's going to be a part where the factory rails are going to be thinner. So yeah, it's just nature of the beast. Yeah, this is the wheel and tyre that I'm going to be using on this car, so it's important that I get everything to fit how I want it to. So from now I'm going to get the other side, because that's still standard. I'm going to get that to this stage, and then I'm basically going to set up my diff jig, get my diff length, so every single time I bolt the wheel on and off I can get it in the same spot every time. Alright, so if you've made it this far in the video, you've obviously probably seen a few things. I wasn't actually going to do this video this way. I wanted to film the tub process sort of start to finish, but it was kind of pointless, I thought, doing that if you couldn't actually see what wheel fits and what wheel doesn't. I hope this clears up a few things. There's a few people probably saying some stuff that they probably shouldn't, and hey, I'm probably one of them, but whatever, I suppose. Yeah, you can't really lie the footage that I've shown, so yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.